Irish Fairy Tales. Chapter 84. The road was now not so crowded as it had been. Minutes would pass and only a few travelers would come, and minutes more would go when nobody was in sight at all. Then two men came down the road. They were clerics. "I never saw that kind of uniform before," said Mackendivi. "Even if you didn't," said Mongan, "there are plenty of them about." "They are men that don't believe in our gods," said he. "Do they not, indeed?" said Mackendivi. "The rascals," said he. What would Mananayan say to that?" The one in front carrying the big book is Tybraid. He is the priest of Selkamine, and he is the chief of those two." "Indeed and indeed," said Mackendivi. "The one behind must be his servant, for he has a load on his back." The priests were reading their offices, and Mackendivi marveled at that. "What is it they are doing?" said he. "They are reading." "Indeed and indeed they are," said Mackendivi. "I can't make out a word of the language except that the man behind says Amen, Amen, every time the man in front puts a grunt out of him." "And they don't like our gods at all," said Mackendivi. "They do not," said Mongan. "Play a trick on them, master," said Mackendivi. Mongan agreed to play a trick on the priests. He looked at them hard for a minute and then he waved his hand at them. The two priests stopped and they stared straight in front of them, and then they looked at each other, and then they looked at the sky. The clerk began to bless himself, and then Tybraid began to bless himself, and after that they didn't know what to do. For where there had been a road with hedges on each side and fields stretching beyond them, there was now no road, no hedge, no field, but there was a great broad river sweeping across their path, a mighty tumble of yellowy brown waters, very swift, very savage, churning and billowing and jockeying among rough boulders and islands of stone. It was a water of villainous depth and of detestable wetness, of ugly hurrying and of desolate cavernous sound. At a little to their right there was a thin, uncomely bridge that waggled across the torrent. Tybraid rubbed his eyes, and then he looked again. "Do you see what I see?" said he to the clerk. "I don't know what you see," said the clerk, "but what I see I never did see before, and I wish I did not see it now." "I was born in this place," said Tybraid. "My father was born here before me, and my grandfather was born here before him, but until this day and this minute I never saw a river here before, and I never heard of one." "What will we do at all?" said the clerk. "What will we do at all?" "We will be sensible," said Tybraid sternly, "and we will go about our business," said he. "If rivers fall out of the sky, what has that to do with you? And if there is a river here, which there is, why, thank God, there is a bridge over it too." "Would you put a toe on that bridge?" said the clerk. "What is the bridge for?" said Tybraid. Mongan and Mackendivi followed them. When they got to the middle of the bridge it broke under them, and they were precipitated into that boiling yellow flood. Mongan snatched at the book as it fell from Tybraid's hand. "Won't you let them drown, master?" asked Mackendivi. "No," said Mongan, "I'll send them a mile down the stream, and then they can come to land." Mongan then took on himself the form of Tybraid, and he turned Mackendivi into the shape of the clerk. "My head has gone bald," said the servant in a whisper. "That is part of it," replied Mongan. "So long as we know," said Mackendivi. They went on then to meet the King of Leinster.